The No Nonsense Roundtable, a weekly radio show and podcast where host Dom Geneva interviews guests from all walks of life, all with amazing stories to tell. And now, here's your host, Dom Geneva.
Well, welcome everybody to a special edition of the No Nonsense Roundtable, now on WYSL in Rochester, Avon, and of course, all the old shows are on. Well, you shouldn't say old. All the previous shows are on NoNonsenseRoundtable.com, and now you can get these after we air them on Saturday. You can get them as YouTubes, and as YouTubes, we are interviewing our guests on Zoom, and you can actually see people along with hearing them, which is one step above radio. So I have a fella, if not an absolute wonderful guy to talk to. He's famous. He is in the National Radio Hall of Fame, and I am honored that I am able to talk to the great and wonderful Brother Wease. Brother Wease, I am just so happy that you and I can have a conversation. It is like beyond compare.
Well, let me tell you, it's so embarrassing to me when people introduce me like you did, because I had a radio show for 40 years. I was in the music business before that, and I never ever, people won't believe it, but felt like anything more than close to special. So those kind of introductions are embarrassing.
Yeah, but that shows what your my dad would say your intestinal fortitude is. I have to tell you a little story because there's one guy, he's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Gene Cornish. He calls me Raccoon Man, and the reason for that is that I told him this story once of that I went to the local car repair place to get my car repaired, and I'm in there in my jeans and and a sweatshirt and whatever. And I go to the counter, and the gal behind the counter goes, "Are you the Raccoon Man?" I go, "The Raccoon Man? What do you mean? Am I the Raccoon Man?" She goes, "You're not here to capture the raccoon." And I figured I finally made it, Weeze. I've been fairly successful in life, and I'm mistaken for the person who captures raccoons. And she's horrified. She's like, no. I said, listen, no. I take that as a sign of honor that I can be, fairly successful. And Warren Buffett drives a 1993 Crown Victoria. So I think you could be a Raccoon Man too. You subscribe to that certain thing where you're not putting on airs for anybody, right?
But what does that have to do with Gene Cornish?
He calls me Raccoon Man all the time. Every time I talk to him, he calls me Raccoon Man. As a matter of fact, he sent me a picture of a raccoon, which I now have as my face on Facebook. So I just dropped his name. That's all. So,
no, I just.
But he calls me Raccoon Man all the time. Nobody else in Rochester calls me Raccoon Man. He calls me Raccoon Man.
But how did he know about you being Raccoon Man?
Oh, we talk every day. It's fun. I don't know why, but because of the show, you get relationships with certain people you wouldn't know before. One of the people I interviewed was the first Mrs. Muhammad Ali, and she happened to know this other fella, Bobby Rush, who had 3 Grammys, 83 years old. He got his first one when he was like 79 or something like that. They knew each other. I put them on a 3-way call. It's really cool. This media, and because you've been in for it so long, this media opens up some doors for you that you wouldn't normally have, right?
Well, I mean, all my years, of course, I met zillions of people, obviously, through the media. It's just part of the thing,
Oh, yeah. Look at Joan Osborne, right? I mean, that's a great story.
Which one?
Joan Osborne.
Well, Joan is just one of many. The first time I met Joan, I'm no good with years, but it's a zillion years ago. And Jeff Springer,
Oh,
Jeff.
yeah.
She was playing at his bar, and he brought her to me. We were broadcasting at a McDonald's one morning, And he brought her there, and I was taken with her, and we became good friends. I got her a gig eventually at CMAC. I'm trying to remember. I I can't remember the headliner even, but I had
Hmm.
this group of young kids called Wet Willie. Now I remember, and then Joan, and then there was a headliner. And then she, of course, played when I was inducted into the great Rochester Music Hall of Fame. But Joan came
Yes.
for me and played there. But
Yeah.
I love Joan.
Yeah.
At the beginning of our relationship, if you know her, she was scheduled to maybe be Janis Joplin in a movie. At
Uh-huh.
the time, she would have been perfect, but it never happened. And to this day, there isn't yet a Janis Joplin movie.
Well, everybody I think knows if God was one of us, okay. But the other song, her songwriting, spider webs, I mean, just crafted so wonderfully, and I can see by the light in your eyes. That's why the great thing about doing this on Zoom is I can see the light in your eyes and the pleasure you have in that. But like you were talking about the Rochester Music Hall of Fame, but that must have. I mean, I saw her on that,
Wait,
and the
wait,
microphone.
let me
Yeah,
go back a quick
yeah.
second before we
Okay,
lose Joan.
okay.
The funniest thing of What If God Was One of Us was when that album came out. Now, me and Springett knew her as a great blues singer
Uh-huh.
and when that album came out, her management and the people that push it, that was the tune they picked. And me and Jeffrey, we do not deny, we went, what they do to Joan, this isn't cool. And that was the biggest hit of her career. We
Oh
thought
my.
we liked her as a blues musician.
Right. You didn't call that one, huh?
Well, I'm starting to lose hearing.
No, that's okay. But you didn't call that one. That was a surprise. I mean, that's like It's a Beautiful Morning was not supposed to be a hit, but it was a hit. The thing is the Spider-Man about it's sort of a philosophical song too about what if Ray Charles wasn't blind, and what would the world be like? I mean, it's a very intelligent song. I mean, she's really great. And when she played, the microphones actually worked.
Yeah, oh, that was after the Majestics, who are great friends of mine. You know the band I'm referring to.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, the Ronnie Stackman, he was the best man at my wedding.
Oh my
But
God. Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
the mic, they had to take an intermission. That's what you're referring to.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. I know. I like to tease. I said the Rochester Music Hall of Fame. I don't want to deride him, but it's sort of like, well, Billy Joel changed planes in Rochester once, and now he could be in the Rochester Music Hall of Fame.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm going to do a little retail for myself here, and I don't know how you feel about this. I started a group and it's starting to it's a private group on Facebook and it's really starting to catch. And I called it the Rochester Music Mafia. And it's like like the Bills Mafia. They do good things for good people and whatever. And this is for basically the working guys, the guys that are playing the clubs every weekend and they need to sell tickets, and the guys, where do you buy tickets? And it could be different venues and different, look, because everybody's got their thing. You got the jazz, you get the jazz venue, and you got the rock, and you got the classical. Well, let's have something all in one place. And then I'm doing some surveys and stuff. It's really, really cool. So right now, I got 2,200 people in this group. And you know why the number 2,200 is important to me?
What?
It's about the capacity of the Kodak Hall at the Eastman Theater. Is 2,200 people. So I have 2,200 people in this private group. That's like any venue around, like any Broadway venue is about that many people. And so I'm kind of proud of that. So we're kind of working on that. kind of working on that because I think there are a lot of guys out there that are busting their tail to get listeners to sell tickets and whatever. And there's a lot of venues in Rochester that people just aren't aware of. So
I
that's my thing.
I'm having a hard time understanding what your point is. I don't
Well,
understand.
well, I just said something nice about myself.
No, no, what would this thing that you're putting together,
Well,
how would
you know the bill
that help a local garage band? How do you,
because they can for no charge they can post on my site and fans can go on my site and see what's happening this weekend and what kind of music is going on and what type of venues they're going on. So, so consequently, if this fellow that I really love, Bobby Rush, is a fellow that has played every once in a while at the uh this club in Lima, which is called Fanatics. Nice little club. It's got 100, it only has 100 seats, Wheeze. Okay. Not a lot of people know that this club is there, and they certainly don't know that Bobby Rush is going to be there. So rather than this guy doing advertising himself, it's all on the same. It's all on the same site, and then we can do some reviews, and we can just exchange different ideas. One of the ideas we're working on is, maybe like the Bills Mafia doing something good for somebody. Like maybe somebody came up with the idea of let's have a lending closet for kids in school to have instruments that nobody else is using. Something like that. So it's called the Rochester Music Mafia, like the Bills Mafia. So like I said, I was just saying something nice about myself. So let's say something nice about you. Let's talk about the Wease Family Circus.
oh, well, after the end of a 40-year broadcast career on terrestrial radio, my son, or else I wouldn't be doing it, my son, Satchel Jacob Levin from Captivate Media, wanted to have this podcast.
Hmm.
And it's the Wease Family Circus, and we've had some great shows, and this will keep going. His technology
Oh,
is beyond, I'm telling you.
so tell me, how do people tell me about the show and how people get to see the show?
Well, it's on YouTube. First of all, you can go to WeaseFamilyCircus.com. We have merchandise. And it's working. But you can also go on YouTube and watch Wease Family Circus, and then you can see episodes. I mean, I had one of my favorite episodes was with, excusez-moi, with the woman Ashline, Susan Ashline, who's an author who has written 3 books, all of which I've read.
Hmm.
And all 3 of them involve murders, true stories from out in the country here somewhere.
Hmm.
Here. And her last one is about a guy that murdered his mommy and daddy when he was like 18. So she wrote the book, she sent me the book, and I didn't even know she was going to. And I read the book because I like how she writes and they're local.
Hmm.
And then, we put her on the show. But that's not the whole story. The
Hmm.
story is that the book is about this evil, terrible fucking guy. Can you say that on your podcast? Any on mine we do. What a,
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's
you
well,
sure? I won't.
we'll talk about this after we wrap it up. Okay. Go ahead.
Well,
That's
it's
fine.
legal.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
mean, I didn't know
Yeah.
if you were with Jesus. Maybe I don't
No, no,
know.
no, 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 no. Hey, I spent 40 years in the car business. Okay, so that doesn't offend me, not a little bit.
This makes it more real that you don't
Yeah,
pretend we're
yeah,
on.
that's right. That's right. I'm from the New York City area. How the F are you? Is like a term of endearment. So don't worry about it.
Well, let me finish the
Yeah,
story,
sure.
please,
Go ahead.
because she tells the story, and this guy was an unbelievable evil man before he killed his parents. They used to beat his grandmother
Mm.
constantly. There were other things. But after he goes to jail, the story in jail is where he shivs a guy.
Ooh,
He has sex in jail with the guards, and he's been in for over 30 years. And she got him on my podcast. After we did her podcast, we got to talk to him from jail for an hour, and
wow.
to hear him so scary and ugly.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
a weird
Yeah.
one. We've had people that used to be on the program in the day. I have audio from 30 years ago that is with Chris Rock, Sam Kidd, all. So it's all spiced in
Yeah.
there, and I love it.
Well, let me ask you a question. I mean, now now you don't take just anybody to interview. You want it seems like when you want to interview somebody, you don't want to interview something that somebody that everybody else has. Is that pretty much the way you operate?
No, uh,
Okay. Like,
no, I. Most of the people I've had on the show so far, it's early,
uh-huh.
are people that were big on my old program that
Okay.
people have been wanting to hear from and stuff. And then, for instance, there was a kid that we used to work with, Rich the Bull Gensler, who
Mm-hmm.
ended up in Buffalo broadcasting for the Bills, and he's still in Buffalo, and people loved his
Mm-hmm.
time on the show. I'll get Jim Kelly later during football season.
Mm.
So, I mean, but anybody interesting enough, definitely,
Yeah, yeah.
because we don't have to have a guest.
Well, one of the things that you were talking about Jeff Springett, and Jeff Springett, magnificent promoter and owner of the venue, but his story, everybody has one little story that's really great about him throwing out you two.
I was involved. I
Go
was involved in the story.
ahead and tell the story.
Well, we've told it a million times
Oh
on
yeah,
the
but it's for the next generation. A lot of people haven't heard that. If you
Well,
want to tell
you've
it, that's
had
fine.
it if you've had it on your podcast, but
Yeah.
my part of it is the guy. Uh, U2 was what they call a baby band at the time.
Oh.
John Scher, one of my best friends, major promoter. John promoted the last two Woodstocks. He did shows at the Meadowlands, many Madison Square Garden, and he used to be the top promoter in Rochester, New York. And back in that day, not now, back in that day when there were promoters regionally around the country, if you got the big band, like if you were going to promote a Rolling Stones show,
Hmm.
you had to take baby bands too. That's
Ah,
what they
okay.
called them,
All right.
even at a loss. And U2 was a baby band. But John Scher, he didn't come to Rochester. He lives in Jersey and New York.
Hmm.
He had a guy, his main guy, David Hart, used to come, and we were good friends. He would be what you call the guy in charge of the whole show at the War
Hmm.
Memorial, at the stadium here, and him and I were close friends. And we were playing racquetball when U2 was getting ready to play at the Red Creek. Him and I were at the JCC playing racquetball. We get a phone call and for David, and U2 was leaving the Red Creek. By the way, the show was sold out, Big T, the Red Creek, the bar. But what happened was Jeff Springett, three old Jewish ladies were eating. You'd have to know the facility. There was a
Yeah.
restaurant, half a bar, and then the stage in another room with tables and stuff. And three old ladies were eating where U2 wanted to do a sound check, and Springett wouldn't kick them out, and they
Hmm.
left.
I love
What
that
did,
story. Yeah, I love that story. I
but I
just love
mean,
that
did
story. Yeah.
he?
Yeah.
Did he tell it to you any differently?
Oh, years ago though. I think, I've had the show since 2019. So it's years and years ago. So it's worth repeating. But the thing is that has to do with a certain mindset. I think you have the same mindset too. It's like that song, the Sinatra song, "My Way." You do things a certain way. I mean, I told Ford once to go stick it when they wanted to sell me a dealership, and I ended up buying it like 3 years later. I mean, their lawyer was yelling at my lawyer and calling me all these names and stuff. And I called him up. I said, "Listen, I don't have to humiliate myself to become a Ford dealer. Thank you very much." And I ended up getting it 3 years later than that. But you got to put a stake in the ground sometimes with stuff. I said, what, back when I had the dealership, I was your no nonsense car dealer. Well, it goes both ways, Weeze. I'm not going to take crap from anybody. I'm not going to give crap to anybody. I don't want to take crap from anybody either. So, and when you do that, sometimes you make some enemies, right?
I guess I don't know. I don't know
No,
what you're.
you've never made people uncomfortable, right?
Oh, no, but I just don't know what you're referring to with the U2 episode.
Well, what I'm referring to the episode is that Springett said, "Screw it." He did what he wanted, even at a financial loss or whatever it cost him. He did what he had to do,
Well,
because of the.
I have to interrupt you
No, go
again
go
because
ahead.
he has zero financial loss.
Really, from throwing them out?
Yeah, it's not. He didn't throw.
Really?
First of all, he didn't
Ah.
throw them out. He just wouldn't move the people. Now we have discussed over the years. It wasn't the band. It's always like a roadie, a road manager, or some three old ladies. But I mean, I mean, the people workers still, they were coming anyway and drinking. John Scherer and the kid I
Oh.
was with, they're the ones that lost the money, not
Oh
Jeffrey.
my
Jeffrey,
God.
that wasn't his show. It
Oh
was
my
in
God.
his room.
Oh my God. This is great. This is
That's
this
how
is
that
good. Okay.
works.
Okay. Tell me what you think of the Rochester Music Hall of Fame.
I can't.
Okay. All right. Tell me what you think of iHeart.
Well, listen. I heard everybody knows. Lately, there's been a lot of stuff on Facebook about the end of radio. I even saw.
Yeah.
I'm not going to mention his name, but I even saw a post. I mean, a comment on this particular post about the end of radio from a big local radio guy still
Hmm.
on the air,
Hmm.
explaining how he knows it's the end. What kills me is, and I'm going to make a comment here that many people will disagree with, but in this big thread on Facebook about the demise of terrestrial radio,
Hmm.
all these radio people from the day, from before, were making up reasons, and none of them are right. I know the reason,
Go
and
ahead.
it's easy.
Yeah.
I know the reason, and Tom Prietti knows the reason. Do you know
Hmm.
Tom?
Yeah. I know Tom real well.
The only reason radio is over is because young people don't listen to the radio,
Right.
and that's it. I tell a story, Dom. I used to speak at in Professor Pratty's class once a year years ago,
Hmm.
and I used to go in there in like an amphitheater, and he used to say, "How many people listen to Brother Wease on the way to school today?" And sometimes half the kids would raise their hand. The last time I did that, and I think it's maybe 10 years ago, he said, "How many people listened to the radio this morning?" Not to
Hmm.
me, just to
Right.
the radio. And almost none. Fast forward, I mean, the fact that young people get their music delivered in their car and everywhere else, whatever they choose, that so I mean, eventually, I know people that say radio will come back. I don't
No,
know how it's
no.
possible.
No, and the thing is that you think about this is that look at Kodak, and I say this all the time, is that they thought their product was pictures on pieces of paper. No, it's not. It's imaging. No,
Good
it's imaging.
example.
It's imaging. So the thing about radio, and I use this radio as a vehicle. I use the radio as a vehicle to get people on the show and to make YouTubes out of them and shorts out of them or whatever. But it's really not radio. It is just one of the ways that you do communication. And the thing is that well, my show now on this other station, this WISL, I do it with no commercials. No commercial. I buy the commercials myself, and so I have 55 minutes of time rather than 36 minutes of time, which I had on Wham, and then I had ED ads there. I had, just I just the commercials from the lawyers and a UTI commercial. A UTI. Yeah, you know what a UTI is, right? Okay. Well, people know what a UTI is. We'll let it that, but it is a certain infection that women get, and that commercial is on my show. Yeah, that's like, ah, God, yeah, God. So one of the things.
Wait. You can't bring up UTI and not spell it out for me.
It's
Oh, you
urinary.
don't know.
Okay, urinary tract infection.
There you go.
You forced me to do that. You forced me to do that. But
What's
this.
wrong with does
No,
that?
no, that's okay. I'm just more
You're
concerned.
uptight, bro. You are an uptight
Hey,
guy.
talk about talk about being uptight. There are certain things that people are a little amazed by in this society. Things have changed, and one of this thing is maybe you can explain this thing to me. This cannabis thing, okay? Because I don't understand. You have dispensaries and you have other places and the stuff, and some of them are gummies and you smoke them. Can you explain this to me? Because now it's all legal, but I am uptight. I have no idea about this stuff. Can you explain this to me?
Oh, yeah, give me a particular. First of all, before I'm going to do a quick commercial
Right.
for the Amalfi family, little Mike Jr. owns a place called Cannabis Corner. And we're going to do our podcast there once this summer at a party. And they're right next door. This is the best marijuana joint because right next door, Savoya's Bakery.
Oh, gee.
So
So when you get the
you get
munchies are
the
right there.
right
Oh,
the
it's brilliant.
greatest
It's
the
brilliant.
greatest baked goods in town right there next door to Cannabis Corner. Now,
Oh,
if
oh
you
God.
want me to, if you want me to, if you give me like 2 minutes, I could go get gummies, joints,
Yeah, go
and
ahead. Go ahead.
show them
Go
to
ahead.
you. I
Yeah,
got
go ahead. Go ahead.
both.
Go ahead. This
Huh?
is gonna be a first. This is gonna be a first in Rochester. Go right ahead.
You want to see it?
Yeah, why not?
Speak amongst yourselves. I'm going to go get you some stuff.
Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this has to be the most extraordinary. I don't know if we could put this on the air or not. It's certainly worth it. But there he is. It's Wease being Wease, and in the meantime, uh, well, let's talk about me. This show is part of my media empire, if you would. So the media empire is the No Nonsense Roundtable, which you're listening to. It is also Don't Be Taken .com, which is my publishing venture about right now it's about how to buy a car and not get screwed. And I have this book, Don't Be Taken. Uh, uh, don't be taken for a ride. Know what your dealer knows and drive home happy. That's it. And you can find that on don'tbetaken.com. It's got 4.9 out of 5 on Amazon. And then there is a little trifle that I have. It's called Middle Finger Lake, and Middle Finger Lake is well, a town I made up, sort of like Lake Wobegon, and it's where life is perfect, but could always be better. So we have a site there too. It's middlefingerlake.com. And all my timing is great. I just did a commercial for my three other ventures while you were doing that. So is that a yes, that is in your mouth. It's
This is a joint that I'm currently hitting a little of.
okay.
But I put that
Well,
down.
you don't know what's in my
This,
shoulder cup either. So
I want to tell you, can you see this good?
yes, yes.
So this off hours, I
Mm,
wish I could remember names, but there's some Rochester kids that own this off hours
hmm
factory.
Okay.
And I visited. It's an amazing place. I think they had to be on the TV news, at least one, because these young guys built this factory where they make marijuana for half the country. And this is their brand. And this gummy right here is called
I love this.
Grape Punch. It's for sleeping. If you can see it here. Uh,
Oh, this is great. This is great. This has got to be like a Rochester first. I mean,
here,
this is wonderful.
here's the gummy. See, it's all
Yes.
in the pack.
That's
And
that's
those help sleep. These are called cherry berry. Oh, they're for sleep too. I didn't bring any of the these. They make these. These
okay.
are heavy haze joints. They come in a pack, a box. All these small joints. They're 5 gram joints, baby pre rolls, sativa. That's the strain. What's this one? And this is a hybrid. Look,
Heavy hands. Now,
super runts.
now let me ask you let me ask you a question. The stuff you smoke and the rest of the stuff, is that sold at two different places, or do you get everything all at the same place?
Well, this the no now these dispensaries are opening all over the joint.
Hmm
My boys at Cannabis Corner, it looks like a big jewelry store.
And where is this?
Everything on next to Savoya Bakery
Oh,
on
that's right too. I'm
Woodland.
sorry, the Munchies,
But
the Munchie store.
I don't know the number of how many are in Rochester right
Oh,
now.
okay.
But you
You,
go in there. I forgot the name of what they call the people that turn you on to which herb you want, which
it's called a
strain.
pusher.
No, it's terrible. Now that's old day bullshit, bro.
I, kn-
But
I just did that to get you. I mean, just come on.
is your face burned or are you
No, I'm just laughing so hard my face is turning red.
holy
Oh
man?
yeah, I know.
I never seen a red face like that.
No, this is a riot. I seriously, this is a riot. You say the family circus. This whole show's been a circus. This is great. And plus, I didn't know anything about cannabis, and you didn't know anything about urinary tract infections. So we're learning stuff from each other, bro. We're learning
Well,
stuff from each other. You know the let's see what ridiculous question. Hey, let me ask you a question though. Tell me about somebody. Tell me about somebody that I'll word it this way. If you were to drive, and you're going to hate the way I word this question because it's going to be like a true amateur, okay? But if you were to be stuck in a car with somebody between here and New York, who would you want to be stuck in a car with, talking to for 5 hours?
my wife.
Ah!
I love my wife.
Oh my God! You are the
Listen,
smartest man on the face
no,
of the earth.
no, listen. At this stage of my life, which is not good, I'm old
Yeah,
as hell and I'm deaf.
yeah.
So my wife is my everything. And When we go, it's been bad for me because
Mm.
I'm obviously a guy that likes to talk to people everywhere. And I got an elevator here in my condo. I just got in one with a bunch of people. I can't hear them very well. And
Yeah. Yeah.
it's very depressing and debilitating.
Yeah.
So I know where your question, everybody says the same crap. Give me, I'll take, could they be dead people or just alive people?
No, no, no. People that you, alive people. So somebody
Well,
that you met that you wish you spent more time with, or could go across. Because a lot of people that there's a concept. There are a couple of concepts I have. You can be friendly with somebody, but not friends. I mean, the guy that just died this December, um, and I know I've repeated this probably 12 times on my show so far, was Chuck Mercado.
yeah.
Chuck was my best friend. He was absolutely my best friend. I wasn't his best friend because he had better friends than me. He had people that he knew for 60 years and whatever, 70 years. I mean, I wasn't his best friend, but he was my best friend. And God damn, I miss him. I could talk to him about anything. He was always interested in me. I can make him laugh. Oh my God, I can make Chuck laugh. And we would sit on the back porch on a nice summer day in my screened-in porch. He would bring over the sausages. I would cook them. We'd have sausage and peppers together, a bottle of wine, and we would talk about life and the grandkids and whatever. And that's a friend. That's a friend. That's a friend.
So now
So,
you should hang out with Joey. What are you worried about?
well, changing the subject, let's talk about. Well, maybe you can come sometime. Well, in all honesty, I do love sending you the Savoya because I send you the Savoya. It feels like a taste of home, right?
Oh, I forgot that. Now, when you go to Savoy, walk next door to Cannabis Corner. The same family. Same
ABC.
family.
Oh no no. What is it called? ABS always. Oh no. Always be closing. ABC. Always be closing. So now here's the question. I asked this of Adam Bello, and he's Italian. He doesn't know the question. The answer to the question. Do you know what a sfogliatelle is?
A who?
Sfogliatelle.
Of course not.
Okay, well, they make sfogliatelles. Now, unfortunately, if I sent them to you, they'd be mushy by the time they get there. But it's a pastry that is crispy on the outside. It's like a phyllo dough, whatever, and the inside is that the ricotta cheese with the fruit and whatever. So if you ever get here, I'll get you some sfogliatelle. But Savoia makes the best sfogliatelle going. It is. They only have it like on Thursdays and Fridays and. You know what? The other thing is when I go there and I buy you some cookies, which I love doing because I know how much you like them, but they know you. Oh yeah, please, yeah, okay, yeah, yeah, okay. I know exactly what he wants, and you send him,
Well,
a couple pounds,
that family are very close friends of mine
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah, it's obvious.
who is?
And I said it's obvious that they are. They're very fond of you.
Yeah, lived in the neighborhood. And the Amalfis are my best friends. He married into the Privateras that owns Savoyas, so it's all the whole family. Great people. George
Well,
Privatera, Kathy.
now let me ask you a question. Is there a place that you eat in Rochester that's like a casual place that you like, better than someplace else?
To eat,
Yeah.
I can't do that. I I have too many friends that own really great joints.
Don't want to pick one of them out. Okay.
No, no.
That's pretty good. You will.
Now, I will say if you're interested in a really interesting, original Asian food, you got to go to Mama San's, which I've been close with that family for
Mm,
almost 40 years.
yeah.
But otherwise, I saw somebody on Facebook. You always see bull crap on Facebook. But I saw somebody on Facebook trying to make fun of Rochester restaurants. There's a lot of really, really good
hmm
restaurants. in Rochester, New York, 100%.
Yeah, I know, absolutely. The thing about Rochester that I find is that this is a lot nicer place than people think.
Oh, yeah.
You say Rochester and they think of Utica. And
Oh, my God.
I said that to I had the mayor on my show once. I said, the problem with Rochester is that the people downstate think it's Utica. He goes, well, I have a very good friend who's mayor of Utica. I said, well, I didn't mean to offend anybody, but I mean, you got so much stuff here. Oh my God. Even that Museum of Play, they got like 90,000 square feet or something. That's a national museum of play. You
That's a
know,
big deal.
that
The
is a
mu-
big deal. You got the Kodak Hall at the Eastman Theater, and then you got Jiva, and then you got this new West Her thing. I mean, there's so many goes now, and I'll tell you what the problem is that our marketing sucks. Okay, and I'll tell you why. Because I will tell you the example. A fella moved next to me, and I live in a fairly nice neighborhood, and he came from California. So the house he sold in California must have been worth $1 million, right? So he comes here and he goes, "Wow, I didn't know this place was as good as it was." Well, that means our marketing sucks. Okay. I mean, if you buy a product and you find out it's better than you expected, well, that wasn't a reason you bought it, right? It's hidden stuff. So that's what I'm trying to do with a lot of this stuff is just give people a kind of an idea. I grew up on Long Island. I lived in Charlotte, North Carolina for 8 years. This place is damn nice. This is a nice
Well, let
place.
me tell you, if marketing was better the way you want, prices would go up. And another thing, I'm sure you're aware, Rochester just came out in the last couple of months is the best housing market in America.
Mm,
Fact. And that's a good
yeah.
thing.
Well, and
The
except
fact
for
that the guy who had $1 million home in California, that same home here is maybe 600,000,
right, absolutely.
100%. And
Now,
that's good, of
and I know that a lot of the schools, especially in the city, need a lot of work. Okay,
course.
but the suburban schools. Um, my daughter went to my both daughters went to public schools, and the one got a full academic scholarship to college. We'd have to pay a dime for her for tuition, and she went to a public school. And the same thing with the second one. Got a degree in photography. She's doing very, very well. As a matter of fact, she just photographed Shakira a few weeks ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah,
Pretty good.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
let me tell you, talking about that, my kids went to Harley School,
Hmm.
private school in
Yes.
Pittsburgh.
Wow.
And when my son was going into the fifth grade, they called me in and we said, I wondered if you could get a little extra help. And they said, we don't do that here. We think your son will be better off somewhere besides here. It's a true story.
Ooh.
So we went in Webster slash Penfield to school, and we were blown away. It was better
Yeah,
than the public schools in Webster and Penfield, and they're phenomenal. They're
I know.
wonderful.
I know. So you have all the water you want. You have a nice regional airport. You have all these theaters and culture, and you can afford your house. Yeah, the school taxes are high, but then when we were living in North Carolina, we were paying like $2,500 tax on a 3,000 square foot house. But the schools were so bad, everybody sent their kids to private schools anyway.
Well,
So like what? Like what?
the
So
only negative on the good Rochester scene is winter.
yeah. Yeah, and you know what? I have a 1,700 foot driveway, and I have a 3/4 ton plow truck, and Nita doesn't mind plowing.
Wow, you got
She's
plenty of
5'11". All you see is a little tuft of yellow hair and her eyes, right? And she plows the driveway. One day, I'll tell you the story. One day, she went to me and she goes, "Well," she goes, "You did a crappy job plowing the snow." I go, well, yeah, but you can get by. She goes, no, it's a crappy job. He said, she goes, give me the keys to the truck. I'll plow. And I go, no, you're not touching my truck. She goes, no, I'm plowing the. And then I said to myself, how big is my ego? That I'm going to, she wants to get up 5 o'clock in the morning. She wants to plow. Let the girl plow. And then she does. She goes, plows and, whatever. So I did something of crappy quality. And so my wife took it on herself to do something of good quality. So I've started to do more things of crappy quality. So she does the things herself and doesn't have to bother me. But seeing Nita in a 3/4 ton plow truck is quite the thing. You say the same thing with you though. You married somebody who loves you and supports you and whatever. And I'm lucky enough that I did the same thing. I mean, we've been married 40 years and I couldn't imagine. She's changed my life dramatically. She goes toe to toe with me and she I'm sure Doreen does the same stuff with you.
Worse. Beats the crap out of me. Why did you get out of the car business?
Well, here's the thing. I have a little sign on my desk here. I'll show this to you. I've never shown, I really haven't shown it to very many people. And what it does, I took these little articles here, and it says the difference between Truman and Johnson. Okay. And this was written by, I think, by a guy by the name of Hugh Sidey back at Time Magazine, I think it was. And he said that Truman was a tough, Johnson was a tough guy, but he wasn't tough-minded. He had um, very strange ideas about the Vietnam War, like pushing his weight around, like bullying people. Says, but he wasn't tough-minded. Says Harry Truman was tough-minded, and Harry Truman um, uh, had the Marshall Plan. He stood up to Stalin. He fired Douglas MacArthur. A clear and untrammeled view of what reality is and what you need to do to address that reality. Okay, and this is worth talking about, even if this doesn't go on the air. Okay, so I was engaged to somebody once, and she told me um, that she heard voices. I says, "What do the voices tell you to do?" She goes, "Well, the voices telling me to kill myself, and I might kill other people." I go, "Okay,
Come on, you had a woman tell you that.
yes, yes, God's honest truth."
What'd you do after she told you that?
Broke up the engagement.
You should have called somebody and say, "What the hell?
Well, she
That's
was under
terrible."
medication and she was under medication and everything, but I can't
Oh,
sign I can't sign up for that. So that's how I met my wife. Is I met my wife because after that I put an ad in the paper and she it was something like before Match.com. And
I got to tell you something, Dom. You're a hell of a politician.
what is
I
that?
asked you, why'd you get out of the car business? And somehow we got to wives and crazy broads.
Right.
You
And
never.
I will tell you. So my whole life has been the idea of a clear and untrammeled view of what reality is, and when you have to deal with that reality. Now this brings me to the car business. Okay, now this brings me to the car business. So the car business back in the day, and this will make perfect sense to you. The car dealer was the guy who drove the convertible in the Memorial Day parade. You know what I mean? You had a relationship with the customers. You went to you went to their restaurants. You had a relationship with them where you did business with them. They did business with you. It was like friendly and whatever. That day went away. That day went away. It's like drugstores. Okay, you used to have a drugstore in your town, right? Now they're all CVS and Walgreens. You gotta say this. It's like radio. It's like saying this is the way it's going. I gotta make a decision. I gotta make a decision before everybody else tries making the decision. And I got a clear and untrammeled view of what reality is and what you need to do with the reality. So I sold the dealerships as it worked out 10 days before the COVID shut down. Okay.
10 days before COVID?
That 10 days before the COVID shut down, I got my money from the dealer that I sold the dealerships to. But it was, yes, I see this train coming down the road. I know what's happening. I need to do something because I'm going to be swept away by a decision that I really, and I have to compete with these guys or I have to sell to these guys. And the same thing when I left Chrysler. I left Chrysler because I realized my career wasn't going to go where I wanted my career to go. My boss hated me. Yeah, seriously, I have to, yeah, I could tell you the story with that. I know exactly the day I had to leave. I had to leave. This guy hates me. He's going to be there forever. I need to leave. We sold everything we had to start the dealership. We had $80,000. Chrysler lent me 200,000. We had 6 people when we sold the dealership. We had 85 people and we sold $18 million worth of stuff that year before. We did okay. We did okay. Now, I look at every day, and maybe I'm getting philosophical here. I look in the eyes of my children and my grandchildren. They're supposed to be here. I look at them. Those children are supposed to be here. You look at your children and grandchildren. They're supposed to be here. So the world is doing what the world is supposed to do. Whether you can appreciate it or not, well, that's a different story. That's me.
Well, it's funny you say that about the kids and the grandchildren because I know a bunch of my friends'
Mhm.
kids who are in their 30s that aren't going to have children. And I have 3 grandchildren, little ones,
Hmm.
real little. And I'm so worried about them because I don't like the direction of stuff. It looks really bad to me. I don't
Yeah.
want to be a doomsayer. I hope I'm wrong, but it doesn't look good to me. And I mean, the fact that we used to always say we're going to do better than our parents, like
Hmm.
you did,
Hmm.
that's not easy now. And it's really not going to be easy for my grandkids. I don't think. I hope
No,
I'm wrong.
no, and the thing that I can't really subscribe to is the people that say, I'm not going to bring a child into this world because the world is so bad. Well, we've gone through,
The choice.
yeah, but we've gone through, the famines and wars and the Black Plague and all this other stuff, and it just is. It's not pretty, but
Well,
to
let me,
say, but
all those situations you just mentioned,
mhm,
this country was one
mhm.
together. We're not
No.
anymore. This is a terrible split, and it's got not just Trump, it's going to not go away for a long time, and it's not good.
I totally agree with you. The thing is this. I think the country was based upon people in the country having a common sense. Okay, we've lost our common sense because now we've gotten to these factions where people are. Oh, geez. When's the last time you had somebody burp on the radio? For God's sake.
I burped 10 times. Go ahead.
But anyway, here's the deal: is that now you have these factions that are beating each other up. Now, I wrote an article for the Rochester Business Journal, and I interviewed Bob Duffy and I've interviewed Jeff Tyzik. And what I did is I titled this "Social Media Myopia." Okay, and what people are posting things and they don't understand what they're doing and what they're causing. Instead of getting people on their side, all they're doing is yelling and not accomplishing anything. They're not compromising anything. And I tell, like I said, I said this on the last show, so probably this won't make it on this show. There was a debate back in 1959. It was between Vice President Nixon at the time and Khrushchev. And they got into a debate. It was called the kitchen debate. I don't know if you're a history buff or not, but it was called the kitchen debate. And so there was a display in Moscow of culture, and there was an American kitchen, and Khrushchev comes up to Nixon and says, "Well, this is a bunch of bull because not everybody can afford this," and Nixon's going, "Well, the average American can afford that rich refrigerator and this," and Khrushchev's going, "No, no, everybody should have the same thing, and that's what communism is all about." And they finally came to the conclusion that that, and Nixon said to him, I'm not going to convince you to be a capitalist, and you're not going to convince me to be a communist. We need to just stop this because this going nowhere. And that's what I see in this social media stuff. I mean, people are going, and you know what? I got to tell you, one of the things that really bugs the crap out of me is when somebody who's performing does that. I don't care if I lose all of my ticket buyers. I'm going to say what I have to say. That's fine. That's fine, but you have to understand that might be what you're doing. Then don't come looking for tickets. If you're going to say all this crap about Trump, don't expect Trump people to come buy tickets from you. I mean, it's just the way.
Well,
Now,
well,
if you're Bruce Springsteen, just bear with me for a second. If you're Bruce Springsteen, you can get
yeah.
away with that. Okay, you can
Well,
get away
then
with that.
I'm glad you got there.
Yeah, you can get away with that. But if you're a local guy and you're looking for sponsors and you
Local ain't
tick
doing
off,
that. They're
huh?
not doing that.
Yeah,
Local
they are.
guys.
Yeah, they're
You
doing it.
gotta be a Springsteen. You gotta be someone major enough that
But
you not, don't care anymore
I
to
got that. But
speak what you think is the truth.
okay, so I'll debate you with that without getting into an argument.
Anytime.
Okay. So,
Anytime.
so when I had my car dealership, like I said, this isn't going to make on the show because I just said this. So I had a co-host, and for a while I had a co-host on the show because I needed his audience. Okay, because I just was
Oh, wait
going
a
out of
minute.
my way.
You had a show while
No,
you
this
had the
show
car.
on Wham when I first had the show, my no nonsense car dealer show. I
Oh, that's the
I
show.
yeah, I had my no nonsense car dealer show. I had a co-host. I don't want to tell you who it is, but you can probably guess who it was. Okay, so I had somebody who had a big following, and Marcassini is my guest. Okay, now Marcus, you know Marcassini. He ran against Louis
Very
Slaughter.
close friend, a very close friend.
A really really nice guy. So
Great,
so during
wonderful.
so during the show, my co-host says, oh, these people who voted for Louis Slaughter, they're just, they're awful people, and they shouldn't do that. They should have voted for you. And if they didn't vote for you, they're stupid. And during the break, I'm like, don't do that to me. I have to sell cars to Republicans and Democrats. I mean, no.
Right.
He goes, well,
That's a good one.
that's my brand. I go, okay, that's your brand. You can survive on your brand. That's fine. To me, that's niche marketing. I had a dealer in North Carolina who ran for mayor of Greensboro. Okay, Chrysler
As
plant dealer,
a car dealer, same
car
time.
dealer, car dealer. He not only lost the election, he lost half of his customers. You can't do that.
Oh, because he was a Republican or a Democrat,
Right,
one
right. So
side or the other.
you got to be careful. So here's the I mean, we raised our kids on the principle of consequences of your behavior. It's yes, you can do that, and I respect your right to do that, and you absolutely can do that. But then don't complain when somebody doesn't want to sponsor your event because you would be branded as accepting that. And that's where I get. I'm saying if that's your in marketing, I got a degree in marketing. It's called niche marketing. If you can survive on that niche, that's fine. That's fine. But don't come complaining to me when somebody doesn't sponsor your show because you trash this person or that person. That's just the way life is. So anyway.
I have to ask you because I've never had this kind of communication with someone that I feel is as uptight as you. And let me say why. I don't, can you tell me? This is why I think when you said you won't let this last segment air, I don't understand why. What
Oh
did
no,
you
no, no,
say?
no, no. It's only because it's repetitive of what I just said a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, but
Oh
you
no,
know,
I
you
yeah, no,
already
no, it
said.
doesn't have to do no, it doesn't have to do with being uptight. It has to do
Oh,
with I
I
just said that,
couldn't
yeah.
figure it out.
No, I just said this a little while ago.
Oh, okay.
It'll be let's put it this way. On the on the radio, I can air this on radio, right? I mean, I don't have a problem with having this on WYSL.
Oh,
Okay, so on WYS, we've been into this for like an hour so far. Okay,
yeah. Well,
uh,
I'm getting ready to go to
okay, I know
dinner,
you're getting
but
hungry. I just saw Nita's car come down the road, and we're gonna have dinner. But
wait,
what?
wait. Let me. You didn't tell me at the beginning If I knew it, I wouldn't have let the F-bombs drop.
Well, just beep that. No, you only did one. We'll just beep that.
Maybe,
But I'll keep that. But I'll keep that in the podcast.
yeah, okay.
So I
I
mean,
didn't know.
yeah, no, don't worry about that. And like I said, one of the things about me and my show and the guests is that I never, ever, ever want to make you feel uncomfortable. And here's the thing, is that in this world of people yelling at each other, I think people will come on my show because they know I'm going to ask you your opinion, but I'm not going to sit and hammer you. I mean, and I'll tell you, I don't mind if this is going beyond the radio show anyway. But Evan Dawson, I was a good friend with Ron Singletary. Okay, Ron Singletary was the police chief in Rochester.
I
And
knew he
yeah,
great.
and Evan Dawson one day interviewed him, and he's hammering him and had, da 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 da, and it's like, that's not my style. You tell me, uh Adam Bello was on my show last week. Okay. And I said, well, what do you feel about this? And what do you feel about this? He goes, well, I feel dumb, dumb, dumb. And I'm like, in the back of my mind, I don't really know if I agree with that or not, but I'm not going to hammer him. That's what his opinion is. And I think that's why people come on the show, because they know I'm not going to hammer them.
Well, I will tell you that I happen to be my favorite show ever on TV is the Bill Maher show on Friday nights.
Oh, yeah.
And he'll disagree. He has a Republican on, a
Yeah.
Democrat, a Liberal, but he'll disagree and they discuss. And he can be proven wrong or vice versa, or put both ideas out. I think that you should be able to have both sides exposed.
Yeah. But the thing is, first of all, Bill Maher, because he's Bill Maher and he's got the reputation that he does, he can draw people that I can't. Okay. I mean,
Oh
there's no
yeah, I'm
question
not
about that. Yeah.
comparing you.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just
And,
saying
and,
I
and,
don't think I think that if you with Adam Bello even say, disagree with a point, I think you should have said it, and then you
well,
could have discussed. Maybe you'd help him. Maybe he'd change his mind.
Well, and the thing about that is, strategically, because all I have is an hour, is it worth for me to challenge him and spend 15 minutes of the hour on whatever that is?
Great
So,
point. Great point.
I don't know. Maybe I could talk about five other different things. I don't know. And the other big thing that you're not taking into consideration, and I'm a little disappointed that you're not taking this consideration, is
Let's
that
hear it.
I have no freaking idea what I'm doing.
What do you mean? How do you think I got lucky? I'm the guy that
I have no
started
idea what I'm doing.
with
I have
no
no
idea.
I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just doing the best I can and letting things fly as they are. And I would never, ever, ever be as successful as you. And
Oh, gee,
that's not my
no.
talent. That's not my talent. Okay, I have different talents than
All
you
right.
do, but
Well,
you
what
have
do
you
we
have
did?
talents.
We
So
did over an hour, and I'm
over
dying for
over an
steak.
hour. Yes, yes. Thank you ever so much. I I I I'm just
So,
I'm just
so,
I'm just so happy. It,
Don
it was fun.
Genoa, everybody. See you,
It's
bro.
fun. Yeah, see you. Thank you.
Thanks for listening. You can find our previous shows at nononsenseroundtable.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll make more.